To start an expense report, navigate to your Expense Reports portlet. Note that you can only use one Responsibility Center, or RC, per expense report, so you can have an expense report of multiple expenses from your staff RC. However, you must create a separate expense report from your ministry RC. Click Enter Expense Reports. NetSuite will automatically insert today's date as the date of this expense report. You can change the date if necessary. If applicable, in the Advance to Clear, enter an advance that should be applied to any reimbursement for these expenses. For example, if you have previously requested an advance, the amount of that advance will show up in this field. You may modify this amount to reflect only the advance that you are clearing for this particular expense report. In the Purpose field, enter the general purpose of this group of expenses. You will see a summary of your expenses to the right. Now let's scroll down to Classification and find the field Expense Report Type from the drop-down menu. Select Advance, Ministry Expense, or a Staff Expense. If you selected Staff Expense above, please choose your Staff RC. If you selected Ministry Expense, please choose the Ministry RC that will be charged in this expense report. If you selected Advance, you may choose either your staff or a Ministry RC. Let's keep moving through the expense report and scroll down to the Expenses sub-tab. You will want to make sure you enter each expense as a separate item. Check or clear the Use Multi-Currency box. You would leave this box checked if you are using more than one currency to make the reimbursement. Your reference number will automatically be populated. Each new line item will use the next successive number. These reference numbers will be helpful when referencing receipts and individual expenses by your finance team. Let's say we are going to enter a reimbursement for a thank you gift we purchased for our ministry partners. In the Date column, enter the date the expense was incurred. If you do not enter a date, NetSuite will automatically enter today's date. Now let's select an expense category from the drop-down list. We will select Gifts for our ministry partners. Enter the amount in the Amount column. In the Description column, you will want to enter a memo about your expense. For example, in this case, we will say Ministry Partner Gift. If you have a receipt for your expense, click Receipt and follow the instructions your national office has communicated to you. As we move to the right, you will notice that when we look at CPR designation, the field has been populated for you. Now let's click Add to add this expense to your report. You may want to continue to add expenses to this report by repeating the process. Now let's say that we have more expenses we want to add, but we want to do it later. Click Save. You must make sure all options needed to save are filled out. If not, you will get a notice and cannot save it. Once you have saved your expense report, you should see a green confirmation bar at the top of your report. If you are done and ready to submit it for approval, you must click Submit at the top. To view where your expense report has gone, let's click the Home button. Locate your Expense Reports portlet to find your saved report. To view this report, click on the reference number of the report you've saved. To edit this report, click Edit. You can now add more expenses or fix any information. Now click Save again. You will now see a green confirmation bar at the top. To view your submitted expense report, head back to your dashboard by clicking the Home button. Let's look at the Expense Reports portlet. Here you will be able to see the 5 most recently saved reports. To view the status of other reports, click View Expense Reports. You will see your past and current expense reports as well as the status. Under Status, you will see 4 options: Pending Approval, Rejected by Supervisor, Approved by Supervisor, and Paid in Full. To see a specific report, click View. If your expense report is rejected, you'll receive an email and an explanation from your approver. To edit this, click on the link View Record in your email to edit, and you will find your rejected expense on your portlet. edit your expense, and don't forget to click Submit. Remember, you cannot make any changes to or delete expense reports that you have submitted. If needed, contact your approver or supervisor and have them reject the report. Congrats! You learned how to create, submit, view, save, and return, and delete an expense report.